How do you want to start it?
However,
All right.
how about we just start from here?
This is
Yeah,
your
right.
show.
Yeah, well,
This is it.
well,
It's our show, not Murph's show.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess welcome to the Better Blokes project. We've come to that point in time where we probably want to stop and have a think and look back on some of the few guests we've had on since we've started the second season. Sorry, I got the beer. Anyway, so who do we have first?
We had Josh
That's
come
right,
on
Josh.
first.
Josh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's been a
A little
while.
while ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some winners, didn't he?
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to talk about Josh's because I've said the same point about 15 times. I think you blokes are getting sick of it. So
what's that?
the fact that his mates didn't know that he journaled and he doesn't talk to them. Hang on,
Is that 16 times now? Yeah,
notch
it's-
that one up.
It's definitely interesting to see that, you know, like there's things that people do that they've obviously either don't think. I think it's more of a he's got this tool to help him improve or be better or just help him out, and it hasn't maybe occurred to him that maybe someone else might, like, no, not casting any judgment on anyone, but you know, it's like, I'm just writing notes. No one, like, everyone does that. Sure, they don't need to tell anyone, but
Yeah.
It's real funny, and you really take for granted sometimes what you know.
Yeah.
And just expect that, maybe that's common knowledge for everyone, and you don't really sort of look or think about, hey, like, you know, what I'm doing here might actually be helpful for others. And that's really what Josh's main sort of point was around what he was sort of talking about with his struggle, I guess you could say, with that potential burnout from flogging himself or burning the candle at both ends, as some people might sort of know it as, and how he sort of got that support, the professional support that he needed for a start, but then how journaling has helped him since. And the other thing that was really common, and a common thread across every single episode we've had since, has been exercise.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
flogging it, aren't they? Do you
Yeah.
reckon we should do it or not?
exercise.
No,
I probably should,
Obviously
yeah.
not. But,
Yeah.
but no, I've been doing some lately. I've just started at a training course up in Launceston. I've got a few weeks up there. And I've noticed a couple of mornings where I have actually done something and it's made a big difference for the day, a bit more focused and it's easier. But I think we did speak today about maybe it might be the water intake rather than the coffee in the morning too.
And I've said it 100 times before, like gym is something that, like, I find really valuable from a letting my mind sort of just decompress or whatever you want to call it, like just having that space to not think about anything else. And ADD brain, it's really nice just going to the gym and just be told what to do and you know how to do it, et cetera, et cetera. So it is really good. And obviously, as Stewie was saying, with that feeling of when you're in there, you can be like, oh, fuck, I feel like I'm dying, like doing some of the cardio stuff in my sort of regard. But then when you're done, you've got that sense of accomplishment that, you know, you've managed to do it and you
Pick
feel
that thing
better
up
for
and you
it.
put it back down and you picked it up again, you put it back down again.
Yeah, it's really it is quite senseless when you think about it in that regard. But
Sorry.
no.
He goes a bit
Nah,
early,
but
the
it's
lad, but
yeah,
no,
no, it's good.
He did stick around and chat a bit after it, and he said, which he didn't mention too heavily in the podcast, was how seeing others get results at the gym was a massive winner for him. He frothed on it. He thought it was amazing.
He's on that journey with them.
Yeah, he loves it, yeah. So he's probably getting beat a bit, I don't know.
I don't know. That's all right. Yeah, broad shoulders. He'll be right.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, and I mean, even Jess spoke about it as well. Like he, you know, spoke about how as a creator, like obviously having the stresses of doing that and being constantly on, and how that was, you know, pretty draining for him as he's sort of a self-proclaimed introvert. But when we sort of asked him, like, what was one of the key things that he done for his mental health, he went straight to exercise and straight to going to the gym and that kind of stuff. So I think we all know it to a degree.
It's really beating me around the ears because I do fucking none. Yeah, I'm just like, I know I should. It's just, yeah, I've just got to get something that's just taking me, you know, something that I really can just get my teeth into and go for it. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
mountain biking. Have you got a mountain bike?
Has he got a mountain bike? We've spoken about this on the
got it
podcast.
again.
Cheers, thanks. Yeah, no, got to get back into that. I did actually get it out for a ride probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Very good. But, yeah.
That was, you know, my improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the process though? Do you have to like join a gym and go each day, or
I
you should
don't know,
each
mate.
day? You can't just bust into it. And
I don't
start
think it's
5
gym.
days a
Like,
week,
I
can you?
don't think it has to be gym. Like, I think for some it could be playing footy, could be playing futsal, could be joining a local
Just some
local
activity.
roster basketball, could be going for a run, could be going for a walk, could be walking your dog. Like,
Yeah,
I think realistically, at the end of the day, it's just being active.
yeah. Your boys aren't far off. Probably some school sport.
Yeah,
and
Alex
stuff.
is into soccer. Angus
Yeah.
was chomping for it this year, but the school decided not to run a team.
Oh,
Yeah, Alex loves it. Angus, they're both actually going to Strikers of a Wednesday, Thursday night
yeah.
to do some training there as well, which they're loving.
Well, that's a good moment for you to go and
Yeah, I mean,
do a
it's
little bit of get involved.
it's
Something.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I can't play soccer for shit. I'd like to get back in the gym. I used to hit the gym before kids and had a mate there that I went with pretty hard, and we went pretty well there. But I just need someone there whipping my ass to get me moving. It's lazy
Well,
shit.
Stu had a good one on that though, didn't he? About when we talked about feeling guilty for putting yourself first, but you do come back in the door a better, more yourself person too. So
A better version.
I get the guilt on real bad if I go and do something for myself, and then you get there and you don't enjoy it, and then you don't want to go, and then you're probably just cranky and boring. So
Yeah. And you might have been away all day at work already as well. And
Yeah.
like who should get the first bite of the cherry when you need to
yeah,
go and do your own thing? It's
yeah.
like
you want to come back and support and help out and do your bit, and then you're not sort of getting, you're not coming with the best you either though. Are you?
Yeah.
So,
actually on going to kids and stuff like that and Jess's Stay Curious, it's been Alex and Angus went to the science fair in Ulverston at the Hive there recently. And because that curiosity thing, like you'll see it with your kids and you'll see it eventually with Elliot when he starts talking in a language you understand. But yeah, they just love soaking up that knowledge and that curiosity. And that's where Jess was saying, he had that kid that just come up and said, fired all these questions at him. And he's like, fuck, I wish I was that curious or had that confidence to just ask those questions when I was a kid or when I wanted to know something.
yeah, I had a bloke the other week, it's probably months ago now, having a few cans down the West Coast, and we talked about some of that stuff with the kids and how they always ask questions, and you just want to it is because that's why it is just because. But he said there, and he probably had a few too many, but I look back on it now and it's something and remembered. He said, always explain it to him.
Yeah.
Always. I thought, that's pretty good. Like he said, never leave it as it is because that's it. He said, explain it. If you don't know it, probably just bluff your way through it or go and learn it yourself and then explain it to them and learn it together. So
it's pretty funny, like the whole sort of stuff that we've spoken about. We recently, in my other job, met with a clinical psychologist, Miranda, who has been an absolute champion. So she's worked with us on the Man Up Taz sort of stuff. But she introduced I guess, an acronym to me called SEEDS, which stands for Sleep, Exercise, Education, Diet, and Social. So, and we got to and fro sort of talking about what that actually means. And basically, it got down to the crux of if you can manage those 5 things, you can be much more mentally well. And we're going to be doing some work based on that sort of concept because really, at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about sort of falls into that line of that SEED sort of acronym, but it's all sort of simple stuff. And we sort of know most of it. Like if we look after our sleep, we feel better the next day. Granted, that can be sort of hard for, people with newborns or new kids or whatever it is. But
new video games.
New video, yeah.
funny.
But so, sleep is one thing. Exercise, pretty much every single person that's come on the podcast has spoken about exercise to a degree and how that has helped them. Whether or not, even Belly was talking about how back in season 1, how he starts off his day going for a walk.
Yeah.
Yep. And just, sort of showing that like gratitude, I think it was, or I'm not sure if his was gratitude or appreciation. Yeah. But then, you go into education. That's exactly what you're talking about with kids. Like, our minds are sort of designed to continually want to learn. So we need to feed it with that. We need to give it the opportunity to learn shit or do new things
or teach.
Teach
has been massive, and that's kind of where I was getting at with those kids. It's like I think me saying just because has been in the minority for those answers, because I am like super curious with the kids as well.
Yeah.
And like, oh, why is this? And I was like, oh no, look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up and learn it, and
You tell
then
me.
tell me. And Alex loves that.
Yeah.
Alex froths on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still 4, so probably not quite there yet, but she'll get there. And yeah, she does get it. I look forward to it because it has something that's sunk in, and you think about it pretty regularly now when they are having those conversations.
And how often, I don't know if it's just me and the ADD brain, but like how often are you having a conversation with someone and you're talking about something and you want to know it and you just go straight to Google on your phone. You're just like, oh, like that. Like
Yeah,
just that.
mid-convo, Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
definitely.
Especially when I think they're talking
yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, but like that also comes back to that curiosity, doesn't it? Like Jess was talking about, it was not being afraid to sort of have that curiosity for things. And Olivia and I were talking about it the other day, like what we would like Elliot to do when he gets older. And granted, like we want to be able to guide him in a direction, but
obviously you want him to be a golfer or a tennis player. So
exactly, yeah.
Make him bulk calling.
Yeah.
But no, we want him to be able to try a bit of everything. We were talking about musical instruments, for example, and we ended up getting to the point where we were just like, oh, if we want to get Elliot into that, like, why don't we all go fucking learn how to play guitar?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Why don't we all go do it? It could be a learning experience for all of us. Him being a kid with those little plastic brains that they've got, he can realise how better he can learn shit than old people, and can see how hard it is for adults and everyone to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that we also take for granted as adults. Like, think back to the time where you learned how to drive. Like, how fucking hard was it to not bunny hop the shit out of your car when you were learning to drive a manual? Now you get into the thing and you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Second nature.
Yeah.
And that's what learning, we need to remember, that's what learning's like for everyone with every single thing that they learn. Like,
It's hard, and then it gets
it's
easier.
hard and then it gets easy.
Well, that's me now back at school. I'm like having to study. I'm like, how do you study?
Yeah, what do you do?
You just read the book and then you know it. But it's not a, and when you think back to school, you didn't just read the book and then walk into the test the next day. So yeah, that one's been a challenge. I've got to write stuff in a pen. You know what I mean?
Did you get your pen license?
No, I didn't.
Still on your
I'm an
plates.
atrocious writer. I'm real bad, and I can't write in lowercase. So
Where
I'm
you just
like,
yell everything.
yeah. I always just use capitals. I don't know why, and I get like halfway through a word if I'm trying, and I just switch back, and then it just goes like the and this stuff just yell on the back end of it.
Just looks like hieroglyphics on a page.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think the one where a lot of people, and we haven't heard it too much sort of come up, is diet. You know, we don't often think about the effect that diet has on our mental health, and how sort of that shit food, shit sort of, you know, what's good for your physical health is typically good for your mental health. And the last one, it's come up quite a bit, and particularly Stewie and Greg were talking about it a little bit, was social. Like being social, being a part of a club, like being a part of a community. It's really important for your mental health. We were talking to someone not too long ago, and they were talking how loneliness is going to be one of the biggest contributors to ill mental health out of pretty much everything. And this even includes like young people today that they're constantly on their phones, and you think that they're being super social and all the rest of it. But studies are showing that like younger generations are some of the loneliest generations that have basically existed, and that's even including old people that smell like mothballs, like that have no family, all the rest of it. They're finding that younger people are typically more lonely, which is a scary world to be coming up in.
And I think that pandemic vibe of, run around with your mask on or don't go out at all is like Greg was saying with that woman. That's put a massive wedge between people, and I think it's obvious that people are still struggling to come back from that.
Yeah, definitely. That was crazy, that story.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Big time. That's what we exist for.
Hadn't spoken longer than 10 minutes to anyone for 5 months.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't
Wild.
it? Imagine that.
The world we live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty crazy. And the other one we haven't really mentioned is Jax, and I don't want to sort of miss out on having a yak about his, but some of the value that I got out of Jax was a lot of it was around that grit and determination, and being able to, I guess, take a bit of a leap of faith on something that you want to do. Obviously, starting your own business can be pretty daunting, pretty challenging. So yeah, power to him for doing it.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good little chat, that one. We just sort of settled in and
Just
had
bopped
a bit
along.
of a yarn and
Yeah.
talked about. I think we talked about like how we just don't talk, which was interesting. But how we don't have these conversations that we're having here and showcasing for everybody, so that they can pick up little snippets and show. We talked about the importance of them and the fact we don't do it. So it's not a hard conversation to have when you're with your mates. Just to maybe probably not at the start of the catch up, but just say, "Oh, have you been doing anything different to get yourself by this week?" So,
Yeah,
it's good.
I think the grit's a good one. It's you've got to if you're gonna use the just grind it down, and you've got to have a point where you can go back and check on yourself. I think that's a big one for me. Is like, that grit and determination. You need to be able to have someone to bounce some stuff off and make sense check yourself and make sure that you're not just getting just super locked into something, I guess. Struggling for words there, but obviously.
No, it's not. It is fair. So, and he also said about like it could always be worse. It could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be.
I think that was
his.
That was Jack's 1%. Was
it could be worse.
It could be worse.
And that's a lot of things. We're very fortunate. A lot of us are very, very fortunate. You can see people that aren't doing well and stuff, and you're like, well, gee, it could be worse for us real quick. So I really appreciate it and not take it for granted.
And I think that links also to, it's funny how all of these seem to link in a degree, but like you even look at Greg's and just smile.
Yeah.
Because costs you nothing, doesn't really put in, you don't have to put a great deal of effort in to just give someone a smile because you don't know how shit their day might be going. And in the instance of the story that we were talking about, like that one smile and just saying, hey, how you going, was all that woman needed to start and engage in conversation. And look, that would have been pretty daunting if you think about it, not having a chat with someone for quite a few months to then go on and just talking to some rando on a running track that's just said g'day to you.
Yeah.
That smile made a huge difference.
Scary for her. She may have never seen her mum and dad again if he didn't come along.
Yeah,
that's the power it's got.
We don't know the rest of the story there, but I imagine that smile had a huge impact on her life, and that was something that we were talking about afterwards.
And her parents.
I think
exactly.
Just to show like the massive spread that one thing can do, her parents.
Yeah.
He has bought a jumper the other day online. I think it says something on the back like "You Matter" or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I liked.
Yeah, it was just a nice little message that people just don't
walking
get.
up the street, you're wearing it, and you think, "Oh yeah, cool."
Yeah.
I can't remember what it says. I'll check with it later.
Yeah, no, it's really good. But and the last one that we probably haven't mentioned too much was just Stewie's 1%er.
Stewie's was going to the gym.
Yeah.
Loves it. Being active,
exercising.
Getting up, starting the day off right.
Yeah.
Bit of a ritual at the start of the day.
Bit of a routine, isn't it? 4:30, up to the gym, drives down there, probably gets a coffee on the way home.
Yeah, just a ritual, isn't it? Just having something that it's going to be the same every day.
Yeah, I think he was big on it being an escape from work. Like, he doesn't want to talk about the farm down there.
Yeah,
I reckon if you went to the gym with him and asked him how his spuds are going, he probably wouldn't talk to you.
Pretty much in the chops.
But another good message from the big fella, and he spoke really well. But I think that's pretty much it for this little wrap up. Look, these episodes are literally just us talking shit about how we've felt about the past few episodes, what we've sort of taken away. Anything that we might have tried in the past few weeks since learning them, whether or not it was something directly from the actual episode or something that we've just implemented ourselves. If anyone out there that's listening would like to get involved in the podcast, please just send us a message on either Facebook or on YouTube. That's the easiest place to get in touch. Other than that, we'd love if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share the stuff on Facebook and Instagram for us. That would be really helpful. And if you want to listen to the podcast and you don't have time to watch it, it's available on all major podcast platforms, so Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon Prime. So That's it for us. If there's been anything triggering over the past few episodes or this one, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. Chat with your mates. Really important to just stay connected and look after yourselves.
Yep.
Too easy.
Nice
Thank
work.
you.
Cheers.